Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Today we start a new story. It's Let Me Feel Your Pulse. Sounds promising, isn't it? Ready? Go. So I went to a doctor. How long has it been since you took any alcohol into your system? He asked. Turning my head sideways, I answered, Oh, quite a while. He was a young doctor, somewhere between 20 and 40. He wore heliotrope socks. Heliotrope. But he looked like a Napoleon. I like him immensely. Now, he said, I'm gonna show you the effect of alcohol upon your circulation. I think it was circulation, he said, though it may have been advertising. He bared my left arm to the elbow, brought out a bottle of whiskey, and gave me a drink. He began to look more like Napoleon. I began to like him better. Then he put a tight compress on my upper arm, stopped my pulse with the fingers, and squeezed a rubber bulb connected with an apparatus on a stand that looked like a thermometer. The mercury jumped up. Mercury. Okay, I know. What is this? The mercury jumped up and down without seeming to stop anywhere, but the doctor said it registered 237 or 165 or some such number. Now, said he, you see what alcohol does to the blood pressure. It's marvelous, said I. But do you think it is a sufficient test? Have one on me and let's try the other arm. But no. Then he grasped my hand. I thought it was doomed and he was saying goodbye, but all he wanted to do was to jab a needle into the end of a finger and compare the red drop with a lot of 50-cent poker chips that he had fastened to a card. It's the hemoglobin test, he explained. The color of your blood is wrong. Well, said I know it should be blue. But this is a country of mix-ups. Some of my ancestors were cavaliers. But they get thick with some people of not a scared island. So I mean, said the doctor, that the shade of red is too light. Oh, said I, it's a case of matching instead of matches. Matching instead of matches. The doctor then pounded my severely. Pounded me severely, pounded, in the region of the chest. When he did that, I don't know whether he reminded me most of Napoleon of battling of Lord Nelson. Then he looked grave and mentioned a string of gre- gri- gri- grievances, 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 grievances that the flesh is hair too, most ending in it is. I immediately paid him $15 on account. Is or are it or some or any of them necessarily fatal? I asked. I thought my connection with the matter justified my manifesting a certain amount of interest. All of them, he answered cheerfully. But their progress may be arrested. With care and proper continuous treatment, you may live to be 85 of 90. I began to think of that doctor's bill. 85 would be sufficient. Sufficient, I'm sure, was my comment. I paid him $10 more on account. The first thing to do, he said with renewed animation, is to find a sanatorium where you will get a complete rest for a while and allow your nerves to get into better condition. I myself will go with you and select a suitable one. So he took me to a madhouse in the Catskills. It was on the Bear Mountain, frequented only by frequenters. You could see nothing but stones and boulders. Some patches of snow and scattered pine trees. The young physician in charge was most agreeable. He gave me a stimulant without applying a compress to the arm. It was luncheon time, and we were invited to partake. There were about 20 inmates at little tables in the dining room. The young physician in charge came to our table and said, "It is a custom with our guests. It is a custom with our guests not to regard themselves as patients, but merely as tried ladies and gentlemen taking a rest. Whatever slight maladies they may have are never alluded to in conversation." My doctor called loudly alluded. My doctor called loudly to a waitress to bring some hos hos hogly hosglycerate of lime hash, dog bread, Brahma salzer, pancakes, and Nux vomica tea for my repast. Then a sound arose, like a sudden wind storm among pine trees. It was produced by every guest in the room, whispering loudly, "Neurasthenia, neurasthenia," except one man with a nose, whom I distinctly heard say, "Chronic alcoholism." I hope to meet him again. The physician in charge turned and walked away. An hour or so after luncheon, he conducted us to the workshop, say 50 yards from the house. Thither, the guests had been conducted by the physician in charge understudy and sponge holder, a man with feet and a blue sweater. He was so tall that I was not sure he had a face, but the armor packing company would have been delighted with his hands. That's a long story. Here, said a physician in church, our guests find relaxation from the past mental worries by devoting themselves to physical labor. Reaction in reality. They were turning larvae, carpenter's outfits, clay modeling tools, spinning wheels, weaving frames, treadmills, bass drums, and large crayon portrait apparatuses, apparatuses, blacksmith forges, and everything seemingly that could interest the plain lunatic guests of a first-rate sanatorium. All right, guys, we're gonna we're gonna continue tomorrow with the second part. As I mentioned, it's a long story, so we're gonna enjoy it for a long time. And see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Bye.